Good evening and welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 157 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast with myself, Mark. Tonight I've got Mikey with us first. Evening, Mikey.
How's everybody doing in the chat?
So I've got Mikey on, Jerry's coming on later on. I'll put the link out in the chat. I don't know if JFP and that's hanging about there, but if anybody else wants to come on. The link to our forum and everything's in the description box below, www.celticrumours.co.uk. As I said, the link to all that's down there. Some shout outs to the lads on the forum and stuff. Obviously, Paul's actually again for another operation in his knee next Friday, so that's putting him even further down the road. It's a bit of a shame for him. He needs to get in and get it done. Old Tim Alloy, he's in hospital. Richie's just out of hospital. I hope they're doing all right. Glasgow Green, he's just out of hospital. I've just gone in as well. Malika, Welshie, Mikey, you're already here. Who's we got in the live chat? Obviously, Bobby will be there. Evening, Bobby. John Coyle, nice to see you, mate. Grot Bags. Evening, Brian. John, I've already said that. Peter Boyle, hello from Perth, Australia. Thanks very much for tuning in, mate. Somebody for Australia there. Aidan, nice to see you, Aidan. Patrick Mealy, nice to see you as well, mate. Thanks for coming in, bud. Transfer deadline day, Mike, here. The Celtics seem to be calling it just Thursday. Just another day into it.
This was what I expected, to be honest. Like it says, if anybody expected any differently in the charter, then fair play to them. But I mean, there's still 6 hours-ish, five and a half hours left or so left. So you never know what could happen. But I think at this rate, they'll announce Adam Ida, and then I think that'll be us done for the window. And there's nothing like rolling the dice on the rest of your season.
Somebody just put that up earlier on, didn't they? Something about that, rolling the dice. The day Celtic threw the dice and gambled on the league title, this could end badly. When a real fight and some of our fans think we're going to win easy, don't share the optimism. I still think we'll win the league. It's not going to be as easy as it could have been or it should have been, but I still think again, even just before we came on, me and Mikey were talking about it, the injuries are the bit of a worry. But if we can get everybody fit, I don't see that much a problem. I really don't.
That's the
Evening,
problem.
evening, Kev. Nice to see you, bud.
That's the problem we've got, though, is it? Like you say, is the injuries. We don't know the severity of Carter Vickers. I've not heard anything. Hattati's obviously got a calf strain that could be 2 months out. Like he says, if you're at full strength, the league's an easy win. But with the players that we've got out there, all the key players we've got, I personally think that it's going to be a real struggle to the end of the season. Like it says, like at full strength, I totally agree with you that there's more than enough in that squad to win the league on form. But with the players that we've got injured and the players that we've got to come in to replace them, it's a real worry for me. I'm not confident in winning the league at this rate.
Hey, Carter Vickers, this season it's been a big problem into his injuries. I don't know who it was I was talking to. Was it even you I was talking to, making he's only played 18 games for us this season.
That's what I mean. And he's been obviously signed a new deal and everything and that. But like I said on the last podcast, you're only as good as the games that you can play. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you can only manage 50% of the games of the season, that's useless.
You're not used to Celtic.
No,
Evening Plunge. Stephen Fox, nice to see you again, mate. Ken like Kev, he's for the form as well, Ken, isn't he? Martin, nice to see you, Martin.
But I just don't understand this Adam Ida signing. Even if that goes through. Like it says, if you've got Kyogo and that'll be coming back, and Adam Ida is going to be third choice, and there's no option to sign that, even if he does half decent, why wouldn't you just play one of the youth strikers as third choice?
Aye.
You're just throwing away money. I mean, that guy, like he says, doesn't get again for Norwich reserves. So why wouldn't you just promote one of our young guys to be third choice?
I mean, I've said it all the time on the pod, and I've said it privately to people. For a third choice striker, for me, Mikey, it should be a young guy you get coming through your youth system, or a young guy that you bring in to come through that, just at that kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Just between youth team and first team squad. Or, and we spoke about it, go for somebody like Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, a lot of boys.
An older type player, do you know what I mean? It's not going to be playing every week. You're not relying on him, but if you need him, he's there, and you can you know that he's capable of scoring a goal.
Yeah, like you say, a player like that would have been perfect to come in to supply, like you say. It's like if you're going to sign players, it needs to better your squad. Signing Adam Ida doesn't benefit or better the squad in any way.
A 6 month loan with no option to buy, it serves no purpose to anybody, in my opinion. It's different when it was. It's different when it was like your Robbie Keanes and your Craig Bellamy's, guys that we would never have been able to probably sign because of the money involved in it. But that's the type of, do you know what I mean? You could understand that if they'd went and done a deal like at that kind of level. But this is just baffling for me why this deal's actually went through. If it's going to get through that, as we don't know. It's dragging its heels again, isn't it?
Well, that's because they'll just leave it to the last minute to announce it. To make like they'll not announce it any earlier because then fans will be expecting more to follow. They'll announce that 9-10 o'clock, and then that'll be them done. Like you say, the fact that they've not addressed the left back situation, Hattati, like you said, as Bobby said, is gubbed again. Looks like he's, from what I'm reading, it could be 8 to 12 weeks out. Hattati, that's how bad the calf tear could be. Carter Vickers, again, you've never heard anything. But even like the Lagerbielke situation when he's meant to be going to Verona, he's deemed no good enough to play for Celtic. That's how he's been getting pumped out on loan. He's only just been in the door 6 months, but he's no good enough. Yet, because Carter Vickers has got injured, they're wanting to pull him back.
We spoke about that yesterday, Mikey, how he player feels. He's committed to some Italian website and says he wants this move, and he's not going to be happy if it doesn't get through.
And he's quite within his right.
Definitely, he's quite right. As you said, he told yesterday or the day before, you're not good enough even to be a backup player for us, and then all of a sudden cause you an injury. We're just kind of stalling your career to suit us.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy's quite within his right to demand the move. He's already been told quite clearly that he's not needed at Celtic. He's not deemed good enough. One of the players has got injured, so he's been getting they're holding on to him. If he's not deemed good enough, then go out and replace him. and you wouldn't be taking him back because you've already admitted that he isn't good enough to play.
I take him. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if it's a secret when you've basically the guy with one foot in the plane to Italy.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's just it's Celtic all over, is it? You know what I mean? Like people say, oh, he's maybe going on loan to like get experience, but he was going on. The loan was with an option to buy. If Celtic were going to be putting him on loan with no intentions of selling him, that wouldn't have been the deal. So Celtic have made it quite clear with giving them the option to buy that they're not interested in keeping him. So he's not deemed good enough, but because the players are injured, they're trying to pull him back. It's just idiocy.
It's not a good look for a club that's kind of builds its reputation on. We don't mind just coming in and using us as a stepping stone to bigger leagues and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the point we kind of sell to these younger players when they're coming in. They come in, look at the players we've had that have moved on to England and all places or across Europe and that. And then when ones are ready to leave, to pull the rug from under his feet. So it's not a good look for Celtic at all, in my opinion.
And the whole transfer strategy since the summer has been a shambles. We've talked about it many times. There's the goalkeeper situation was never addressed, left back, striker. Like they're all positions that have been needed since the summer. And yet we're at the end of January and none of them are addressed.
The left back ones. That's like a dereliction of duty, in my opinion, Mikey. It really is. Because it's obvious Bernaby's not going to make the grade. I don't know. I seen talk on Twitter earlier on that maybe he was even getting out and loan the day or things like that. But again, it's all right. But we've said so we need to get rid of kind of this so-called deadwood. Don't really like using that, but we're getting all these players that we don't really fancy out the door. But we still need to get players in.
Yeah, so like really, the Telio signing, he's way back to Melbourne City. I mean, who's signing these guys? He was signed injured. He's been in training for the last month or month and a half. Again, no deemed good enough. Right back to Melbourne City, and they've got the option to just buy him back. How long is it going to keep going on? How long are the fans just going to keep buying season tickets and the home and away and third kit selling it instantly and that? It's like just going to like sheep. Just going to keep following the trend, like just accepting mediocrity at its finest. Because like the fans, like you said, there doesn't seem to be much upcry. Like everybody thinks we're going to win the league and everything, that so it doesn't matter if we didn't sign anybody. And you want to look at the bigger picture. And absolutely embarrassed in Europe again. Didn't he make the Europa again? Like he says, winning the league this year, especially with the Champions League format, changing next season, it's more important to even get in this year. Like somebody, like it's no also you always got to make somebody accountable for their actions all the time if somebody makes a mistake. But how many mistakes is the board going to get away with before there's got to be some form of action?
I mean, my take on it is for me, it's the blame lies ultimately at Desmond's feet. It really does. But the board didn't got it. There's no modern kind of vision on that board. I mean, people are saying this about it's Mark Lowe and Peter Lowe and that, but the rumours I hear is that they're not getting on. They don't get on. They're in opposite sides of the fence in the way that Celtic want Celtic to be run, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Mark Lowe and Michael Nicholson, they wanted to get that Fonseca, that Enzo Fonseca. They wanted him in as manager. But the old stuffy board and Dermot Desmond wanted to bring back Rodgers. You know what I mean? And I keep saying this as well, Mikey. I know you agree with me. There's nobody being your kind of football and vision at the club. They need a director of football in there. We need somebody to take the kind of power away. Somebody that you can point the finger at. Because we're sitting there and we're saying, oh, it's Peter Lowe's fault, it's Mark Lowe's fault, it's Dishon's fault, it's Brendan Rodgers' fault. But if you've got a director of football in there, as fans, that's where the buck stops for us. Do you know what I mean? It's him that's in charge of the football side of it, and that's where the buck would stop with us.
Like, there's a few people in the chat saying that Eden might end up being decent for them. Even if that was the case, there's still no option to buy them. And they'll say, "Well, we
want $5 million." Aye,
you can come in and score.
Aye,
yeah. I
But
mean,
scores 20 goals for us, and they're like, oh, we want 12 million for him then.
Even if, like you say, I would say 95% of the fans are definitely not interested in this guy and like didn't see it as a like progression or that. There still should be an option to buy in case he ends up like turning half decent. You know what I mean? Like, so see, even if he's valued just now at 5 million or whatever, if he comes into Celtic and scores plenty of goals and dominates the league in that's going to treble and more. It's one of the strangest signings in a long time, in my opinion.
I think the deal to take him out of the Italian team. I think it was an option to buy on that, and I'm sure it was about 4 million. It was either £4 million or €4.5 million or something like that.
I mean,
I'd never heard of this guy yesterday. Right? I know, and Mikey, you know more football than the majority is on this, watching this even. Had you heard of this guy before?
I knew who he was, yeah. Like, he was sought after when he was a lot younger, yeah, when he was coming through in Ireland. And like, he actually was sought after. I mean,
Paul, he's for the same area as Paul. He's for Cork, I expect it, Paul. You know what Paul's like, these Irish players and that, do you know what I mean? But Paul said, even Paul, like, what's this all about, man? This guy's absolutely gash.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the young guys that came on the scene back at Norwich years ago, and it looked like he had a bit about him. But up until Celtic were interested, like I heard that he was coming to Celtic. I've never heard from the guy in a couple of years. But like I said, you can't even get him for the Norwich reserves just now.
It's definitely a strange one.
It's just weird that Sidney Van Hooijdonk was meant to be linked, and I wasn't even enamoured by that. But he's going to Norwich on loan with an option to buy, and we're getting Norwich's player they didn't deem good enough to even get on their bench on loan. Like, there's something seriously wrong, like what's going on behind the scenes with these transfer deals at Celtic just now. Like, everybody must surely see that. How could that even come about? Like you say, you're going to be getting Sidney Van Hooijdonk on loan, and there was meant to be reasonable interest in him. He ends up going to Norwich with the option to buy, and we get Norwich's backup striker that's not deemed good enough to even get on their bench.
No, but I mean, the kind of story flying about is that Van Hooijdonk's people and him, they were kind of waiting on Celtic making a move. And again, just to obviously, I mean, to go, that's the exact thing about it, Mikey. Where did Celtic interest in this Ida, whatever, where did the interest actually come from? When did it start? I mean, you can't tell me that Celtic's been looking at this guy for all month. Do you know what I mean? This has been our plan for the full window to bring this guy in for Norwich. Nobody in the world could make me believe that.
It wasn't, like it says. I mean, I was ready to go and say there that there'll be a list of players, and it'll be like scratching one off one by one that when they come unavailable. I don't even Celtic even at that stage. Yeah. Like I think Mark Law, came from some form of like something to do with Man City.
Aye.
Where is he scouting? Like what is he actually doing?
But he's kind of in charge of the scouts, isn't he?
Like that's what I mean. Like what's generally going on within the club regarding like signing these players?
It's actually to you yesterday that the young Irish boy that they're all raving about doing in England. What was his name again?
Evan Ferguson.
Ferguson. Right, and I said to you, we were talking about, why did a player like that slip through Celtic scouting fingers? And what did you say to me? We can't even scout Scotland properly, so what chance have we got to scout in Ireland?
That's true, though, is it? Like it says, like when it comes to like scouting within the own country, that's where it starts. It starts on your own doorstep. And we were on the other day with Jerry and that, and we were talking about it. We were talking about like even going back as like McGinn and then Lewis Ferguson and Josh Doig and players like that. Like they're players that should have been a stick on to be at Celtic. So if you're going to scout on your own doorstep, you're not going to be able to scout in other countries, are you?
I mean, that was one of the things back in the day that Rangers used to do. See the best players in Scotland, they hoovered them up, and it weakened all the opposition teams. A lot of the players didn't really play many games. So it's like Derek McInnes. No, I mean, I can mind him being at Rangers, but I can't mind him playing many games that I've watched him playing. But there's a better younger, better players they just kind of hoovered them up and it weakened them and just it made their squad even that bit even stronger. But Celtic's let so many slip through the net that it's unbelievable. Even in Chilpal, I don't think there are many people in here disagreeing with you about hating Peter Will, mate.
But like I say, it'll be interesting. Like you say, it'll be interesting to see as the podcast goes on over the next hour or two, if there's anything that actually comes up. Because I think I've nearly broke the refresh button on my computer for Google to see if I can like find anything. Like you say, it's so quiet. Like for even on the Rumours front, there's nothing. I think it was Kurzawa, the left back this morning that they were linked to, and he's played about 3 games in 2 years because he's always like with a sore back. To be fair, at this stage, I'd probably take anybody at left back at this stage just so we've got a cover.
But there's no even any rumours or nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, even the guys, the couple of guys for Sky, they're usually a bit ahead of the game. Do you know what I mean? But just the other saying is, Celtic's we've heard they're trying to bring in a left back and stuff like that. But who? It's got for me. It'll be another loan for probably an English Championship club or some crazy guy that we've never heard of before and stuff like that. It really will. At this late stage in the window, you're straggling about for the kind of leftovers, isn't it?
Well, I think, like he says, they supposedly made a bid for a left back from Wales this morning. I think that was obviously rejected straight away by Wales. But you wonder if these bids are just so. We'll try to say
Bueno. Bueno was his name, aye. But according to Wales fans in that was never been a goer kind of thing.
That's what I mean. That's when you wonder if some of these bids are just token gestures. Oh, well, we tried to sign him. And it wasn't like we tried to. Like these players should have been signed weeks ago. Not with just a few hours to go. You were pretty adamant. You wanted players in starting to come in as soon as the window opened, didn't you? Really? Well, it's like you say, it's obvious that we needed somebody to challenge Taylor at left back. The goalkeeper, like you say, I keep saying it. The same. I'm actually starting to bore myself. Like you said, with the goalkeeping situation, it was obvious that we needed a goalkeeper. We needed another striker. Like you say, Kyogo. Like you say, if you were sitting here and Kyogo was on fire, 25 plus goals, 20 plus goals already this season, then you can maybe take that, but he's no, like you said, he scored against Rangers and whatnot. But he's not exactly set the header like this season, is he?
No. And it should have been somebody pushed Kyogo and Owen or whatever, whether it's even to jump in front of Owen the pecking order for the rest of the season. But I mean, again, we're still a shoulder injury away from Kyogo for a catastrophe.
Yeah,
because you couldn't rely. See if we went and brought somebody in like Jamie Vardy or that, and Kyogo went down and got injured on Saturday, it would still be bad news. But at least you'd be like, well, we've got a guy like Jamie Vardy playing. Do you know what I mean? We've got that can score the odd goal, and maybe we'll see a bit more of him. But
we're linked to Jamie Vardy obviously in the summer, and I thought, like you say, people can say what they want about him as a personality, and that. But I'm looking at it from the football perspective, and he was a no-brainer to bring in as a squad striker. Even at his age just now, he'd have banged the goals up here. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the players like that's what I mean. They were linked at the start of the window. They were getting linked to players like Iheanacho and at Leicester, like top end strikers, and we've ended up with, like it says again, it's a shame on the guy because he's never even kicked the ball for it and he's been wrote off already. But like it says, stats didn't normally lie. And like he says, if you can't get a game for a team in the Championship in England's reserves, it doesn't bode well coming up here. Like I say, the fans are obviously the fans and the stupid, mate.
There are a few people in the live chat saying that Ida's more a kind of link-up type of player. I mean, I've seen somebody said that he was good in there, and then you watch his highlight reel, there's not even a goal. He's not even scored that goal for his head or nothing. The big jab. Even a jabber, nice to see you, mate. I think if Kyogo had went to the Asian Cup, he'd have been brought in months ago. I
don't think Adam Ida's been on the radar until the last 24 hours, if I'm being honest.
No. I mean, there was a name, not even a hint yet, on any English news site or anything. As far as everybody was concerned, and even I'd probably even say as far as he was concerned, he was his way to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And the way, if you read it, the way the English press and that's talking about it, it was a case of the hold up for him going to Italy was them getting Van Hooijdonk in, or just like Ida's replacement, whoever that was going to be. It turns out it was Van Hooijdonk. So it seems to be a bit like one of these kind of 24-hour whirlwind ones, isn't it? Mind like Kazim Richards and that kind of thing that just came right out the blue for no apparent reason.
Carlton Cole.
Carlton Cole.
I mean, because this is the kind of this is what we're going back to. Eh? Like we went for years to that's what I mean. It's just Celtic as a football club, year on year. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Like you said, you went for getting Bellamy, and then Robbie Keane 3 or 4 years after that. Carlton Cole and Kazim Richards, and it's just. You know what I mean? It's like there's you can just see Celtic as a football club just backwards and backwards and backwards.
Evening, Des. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for coming in, bud.
Like Dermot Desmond's that interested in the football club that he's just playing golf in the pro-am across in America with Rory McIlroy. You know what I mean? And in the Discord, obviously, I put yesterday that who actually owns Celtic, and obviously there's a few people say we're not owned by anybody. Like I say, Dermot Desmond is his major shareholder. He runs the show there.
Aye. As long as he's got that board round about him, there's no way anybody's going to break that stranglehold.
Like you say, nothing nobody scratches his arse in that boardroom about him knowing about it. Like I say, this is.
How we doing, guys? All right.
Aye, all good here, bud.
Like I says, this is a pivotal part of the season, and you've got your major shareholder playing golf in America, just rolling the dice on. Like I say, this is a major.
Have you got? Hold on, Mikey. Hold on, Mikey. Jerry, have you got another window open on YouTube or that?
Nothing, mate. Nothing. No, as far as I know. 2 seconds. No, nothing.
No, that's not better now. It was getting a kind of echo noise. That's a lot better now, bud.
I'll let Jerry say his piece since he's just done.
No, mate. I enjoy listening to somebody else rather than me talking a lot of nonsense. I just can't believe we're at this late stage in the season and nothing really has been done. It's the same old. You're hearing nothing, and to me, regardless of it being a bad window or a difficult window, if we'd identified any of these players, Majowski, Shankland, or whoever, if we'd done it at the start of the season and put the money down, it gives Aberdeen and Hearts and whoever time for them to get in replacements. But the way things are going just now, I don't think there's any chance in hell he's signing him to a half decent. I seen that you said Mikey, that left back was garbage. The PSG boy that they've been talking about.
They've been trying to flog that guy for years, mate. He's astronomical money. Like I said, he's got loaned to Fulham last year. Never kicked the bar for them. Like I said, he's been injured for nearly 2 years with a sore back on and off.
Yep.
Like the guy's not interested in playing football.
Aye. No, that's no ideal.
That's the kind of players that's the kind of players that you get linked with, though, is it? Like that's when I seen that this morning. That seems about right. That's the kind of player we would say.
It wouldn't surprise you if that was true.
No.
You're going to get left with a kid. It's at this late stage. What team is going to sell any half decent player that they have at this stage of the? Well, you're left with players that no other kind of team or club wants.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like that time with the English window shut, and it used to shut at 11 hours, shut at 12 hours. It's only open half an hour later. That was kind of what it was. You were kind of waiting. English teams were waiting to see what their squads were going to be.
Yep.
But the next kind of putting your squad into the league kind of thing, and that's who was available.
Yep. No, I know. I mean, you look at some of the. It would have worked in our favour. I mean, you look at likes of Chelsea, Man City, some of the squads, the players' number they've got's astronomical. And you'd maybe have thought you'd maybe get somebody, but it's only half an hour over. And plus, leaving it to this late stage, I don't care. It's horrible management. I thought it's poor. It's frustrating as anything being a fan. You know that it's the same old, same old. It's not as if this is new to us. We leave everything at the last minute all the time.
I mean, and it's hard. I mean, you have only even get 30 days to get the deal over the line. So clubs can dig their heels in and stuff if they don't really want players to go and drag it out they've only got 4 weeks to drag it out to hold on to their player. But surely the Celtic scouting system and player recruitment, whatever you want to call it, between the summer and now, have come up with better and more options than like this Ida.
It's well.
Had you heard of him before, Jerry?
Nah, definitely not. Mate.
No. See, I hadn't either. Mikey had heard him when he was younger, and he was a bit of a wonder kid, but I'd never heard him in my life.
No, I had
that term wonder kid. So that's just a nonsense statement, though, is it? Like I say, this just came with the new age of a fan. Everybody's a wonder kid if they have a good 45 minutes.
Aye.
That seems to be the in thing now. Wonder kid. It'll probably be the worst thing you can be tarred with as a youngster, is getting classed as one of them. So,
see, this is out there. Remember, we're talking about the stat thing. One of the pods, Mark, like Kuhn's stats were outstanding for, or had been, with the stat stuff and how Brighton and Brentford and all that, and a lot of teams were going down the stat ways. I had seen something with his stats. Something I don't know. It's the XG. I don't understand what any of that stuff means. Is it a direct shots, or amount of shots, or shots created?
Expected goals or something, into like that XG.
I don't know what it stands for, but
that's a team thing. That's for a team thing, yeah.
It was really high. That was one of the top in the league, and I thought, how can it one of the top in the league when the guy's sitting in the stands half the time? So I can't fathom it at all. It doesn't make any sense, especially with no option to sign the guy in the summer. I didn't think it's a route we were going down. I would have. They might turn out and bang a few goals in and help us win the league, but it's poor recruitment for me.
It's just that's what's even more annoying, the option to buy. Like he says, even if he does turn out to be decent and he actually does a turn for Celtic, even if he was, like I said earlier, if he was worth like 4 or 5 million, that nearly doubles or trebles when you come to negotiating next time. At least if there was an option and he turned out, then fine. And then if he doesn't, then fine, you can just punt him back. But to take a guy on loan for, what was that, 4 months?
Do you think it's a Rodgers signing?
Nope.
What about yourself, Marco? You?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I noticed that last night. I was speaking to Mikey earlier on the day, and I mentioned it because I went to actually look up to read it out to him. But I noticed that James Forrest had a blog up last night saying that this was a Rodgers signing. He was a big, strong, powerful guy and all that. But even he's put that down for what I can see.
Aye.
I can't see how this is a Rodgers signing. Really, no.
A guy in the chat's put no option to buy is because Norwich think there's a player there. I mean, he was just on the bench for Norwich reserves the other day and didn't even get on.
And he was going to Verona with an option to buy.
You said that to me earlier, Mark, the other day.
That's what I mean, yeah. And the deal was literally done for him to go to Verona with an option to buy for, I think it was 4.2 million euros or something.
Aye.
So
£3 million or something.
So and that was out in the open, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So like a Celtic, that's not the option to buy because obviously they didn't deem it as a long-term solution. But then again, if he's going to be third choice, why not just promote a young guy up, Dawson or something, and make him third choice? Give a guy at Celtic a chance.
What happened to him? Because you remember a couple of games a couple of seasons ago he played. I thought he looked decent. He looked as if he got to be decent enough.
Well, I think he was more like a target guy, was he? So that's what I mean. If they were bringing in somebody that was going to be a bit different, then I'd rather they did it. If it was going to be third choice, bring in a guy for the youth. Like I said, if you're bringing in somebody like a pedigree to challenge KO and above, that's even better. But if you're bringing in a third choice, just bring up one of the young guys and give them a chance.
See, this is one of the other things that's pissing us off. See, every day I speak to, they're always saying to me, you're not going to bring in another striker because the way Kyogo's playing. They're not going to be happy to come and sit on the bench. And I can understand that, but we should be looking for better than Kyogo, because I think we've all kind of went over it. For his movement and everything else, he's not a number 9. For me, he's not a striker. He scored some great goals and done well, but I think he'd be better than a 10 behind the striker. I'd be looking for somebody to come in better than Kyogo to kind of push us on, but that's just me.
No, I agree with that, and I've said the same about Kyogo playing at the 10, but
then again, that's what I mean.
for me, it should be a better striker. I've seen the summer, I want Kyogo replaced. I want a better striker than Kyogo in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I want even Carter Vickers. I want a better player than Carter Vickers to come in. Not to replace Carter Vickers, but to play beside him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That should always be the aim for me for Celtic.
Yep. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Mark. The other day we were talking about the spine of a team, and all good teams having a right good solid spine. Our spine's no the greatest. It's no, as you say, Vickers could be better with somebody more dominant beside him, a better centre half. Although Scales has had a right good season, we could be doing. We're getting an upgrade in there. Same if we get somebody in play that CDM role for the European games, and then a right good striker in. But it all comes down to recruitment and forward planning. Obviously, the summer transfer window there, you can give Rodgers a pass because a lot of the preparatory work for these players would have done by the recruitment and possibly Ange, and he wouldn't have had much input. But you'd have thought for this window going forward, this is Rodgers is a man for putting the input. These are going to be his signings or his players. He's got to at least have a say in some of this, because he can't just be getting handed these players and hoping to make things work and make do, because I can't see him why he would have signed up for this without being promised significant funds and to choose his own players. None of it makes sense to me whatsoever.
Well, it's like there's no direction. The club no. I mean, even clubs that have been run ragged down in the pub league and that, like run like shite, like Man United and that. Although the direction's no right, but you can see the direction that they're trying to go, if you get what I mean, even though it's the wrong way, just throwing money, more money after money. But the Celtic, they've not got any. You can't emphasise anything that Celtic are going to do in the next 6 to 12 months. Do you know what I mean? Because for all we know, the way things are running, could Rodgers walk out again?
Aye, definitely. I wouldn't hold it against him if he walked out. I wouldn't hold it against him this time, because would you mean it's I know I'm not one of these entitled fans or feel we've got a divine right to win everything and all the rest of it, but I know we're top of the league, but we're still getting run like a shit show. I mean, it's the recruitment's been terrible. You've got look at the players that are. I mean, that Taylor no kicked a ball way back to Melbourne. We'll not see him again. Some of the players that we've signed and no kicked a ball and paying a wage and all the rest, it's just been shocking. You're not going to get every signing right.
That's just more the last 2 windies, Jerry. I mean, there was a lot of shite brought in under Ange.
Of course, definitely, mate. I couldn't agree more. I mean, we were all holding our hands when we seen that. Was it Kobayashi, the centre half?
Aye.
And then was it Idaguchi and all, when he was playing, you're thinking, holy shit, who thought these guys are going to cut the mustard here? So I'm no saying every one of his signings was any good, but it's been over the years. I mean, one of the guys there was talking about Laxalt. Some of these boys that were brought in, you've never thought they've kicked a ball in their life. That goes back to Lennon and all the rest of them.
I just want to go back to the Kyogo, because Kyogo, like you says, last season, and that, I'm basing it on, like you says, you're only as good as your last few games, right? And I've heard fans and loads of them, maybe some of them even in the chat, going on about he's the best striker we've had since Larsson.
No,
surely, the guys can't be serious, because I've just went and thought of 5 that are better since Larsson. They're better since Larsson that are better than Kyogo. I picked it.
I've
We
seen
talked
this
about
as
this.
well. I've seen this.
I picked
before,
it as
Mikey,
better than striker's better than Kyogo since Larson. I picked it McDonald, Hooper, Griffiths, Dembele, Edward. That's 5. Kyogo's not even close to being as good as
Big Jan was his mobile, but he still knew who the back of the net was and put a shift in. Big Veneker.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And what I liked about him, he always scored in the big European games.
That's
Barcelona, Man United, and that.
Aye. And then to win the league against them.
Like he says, Kyogo, like he says, he's a good striker and that, but talk about recency bias for a lot of the younger guys in the chat. No, I mean they forget what we've actually had, and like I say, Kyogo's not even close to being on the same level as Dembele or Edward or Hooper. No, I mean guys like that, no chance.
Aye.
Even Griffiths, do you know what I mean? Even Griffiths, and I didn't like Griffiths. I liked him as a player, and I've cheered every goal he scored for Celtic, but I never liked him as a person or that. Do you know what I mean? I was quite vocal about it at the time, but you can't take away from how good a player he was.
I say, see if you're like 30 years in, dangerous. That's he was good in the air and that as well. He had everything. Obviously, the attitude caught up with him in the end and his lifestyle. But I'm talking about as a football ability and goals. Top player, like you know what I mean?
Have you heard for JFP today, Mark?
No, I have not. No. I thought he would have been in the live chat or that.
He must be gone Tonto now. His poor wife.
Terence is at work. He's working tonight.
Aye.
JFP's wife. He'll be locked in the hut or something like that out the road here.
Yep. Aye.
He's not took this windy well.
He's or whatever it is.
He's not took this windy well at all, Mikey. Old JFP, isn't he, no, Jerry?
But he called it right for the start. At Christmas time, he called it right. He said that it'd been an underwhelming window, and he was going to hold his breath until the window was shut. But he couldn't see us doing much. And I see Christmas time coming into this window. How many did you think we'd have 2 or 3 in the door, Mark?
I was a bit like, right, well, Mikey wanted players in as soon as the window opened and that, but I was like,
same.
Well, I think we all wanted that, but see, because with that 2-week break and that, I thought, well, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt of that, because if he did sign any players, they're just going to be stuck in a flat or a hotel room with no training or anything like that, you know. But once we were back starting to train and play, I thought, well, surely there'll be a couple lined up for that time and that a bit. It's ridiculous, it really is. I mean, the amount of months that have passed for Celtic not to have players lined up ready to pull the trigger on it's baffling to me, it really is.
I was just thinking and going back to Mark, was what we talked about before Jerry came on about like getting players from Scotland always on your doorstep. When was the last top player that actually went on to do things at Celtic, achieve things, that was signed from the Scottish club last? Was it as far back as Scott McDonald from Motherwell?
Scott Brown.
No, well, McDonald was after that.
Yeah.
Was he? No, Scott Brown or was that roughly about the same time?
That was the same time, because we're both Bob was tracking.
I was just thinking that there was the last time you actually signed a player from like our own doorstep that actually went on to achieve things at Celtic. And I was just thinking that obviously Brown, Greg Taylor did well, yeah, but I'm not like Griffiths obviously did like, but I think he came from Wolves.
We got him from Wolves,
Like you see, I think it's going to be around Gordon Strachan's time with Scott McDonald and obviously Brown. It's a long time ago,
Robson and Hartley would have been after them.
Yeah, they were. It was exactly the same time, Jerry.
Yep.
Gordon Strachan, exactly. It must have been about a year apart. Gordon Strachan liked the Scottish, Gordon Strachan doesn't get enough credit anyway. I mean, Mark, I wouldn't say argue about that, but like Gordon Strachan's one of my favourite managers since I've been able to watch Celtic. But I like Strachan. I was a fan of him. I was a fan of Ronnie as well. What's the script with him being an advisor? What's that all about?
Who?
Advising on what?
Who?
Strachan.
That was ages ago. Don't see that thing flying about on social media. That was ages ago.
Oh, was it?
Was that not during the 10 in a row thing or something that Strachan get brought in to look at the youth set? It was a youth set or stuff like that. I'm sure it was.
I think I remember when it was around about that COVID
Because
era.
he was still working with Dundee. He was still Dundee's
Yep.
director of football at the time. And it was
Aye.
just it was something to do with the youths or something like that. Their
Aye.
terms skiving at work. Told you, Jerry, it would only be a loan signing. Some apes running the club.
Beggars belief. But I was hoping him and Terns IFP would have were wrong, but I kind of thought they'd be right. But see, if we had went for Majowski or Shanklin back before Christmas and done the groundwork then and had them in for coming in at the start of January, as we've said, they wouldn't have had to move, they wouldn't have had to do much. So it wouldn't have mattered. I would have still went for, if they were going to sign either of the two, they would have done it right at the start of the window. They wouldn't have left it to the end of the window. It beggars belief. There's no planning whatsoever. There he said he hoped he was wrong.
I don't. A few people put in the chat that, and then if you went and did a bit of research, that would be linked to the left back for Man City. Young guy, well, I say young guy, Sergio Gomez. He was at Dortmund. I remember him at Dortmund for you. I think he's 23 or 24 now. And to sign somebody like that, that would be. He's better than Taylor, so that would have been the thing. But I can't see that. Like, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's pie in the ice, sky stuff, but that would be some. That'd be like a top signing if they got somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, John Coyle, he was a fan of Stratton. We Stratton done well, considering cutting the budgets and all the rest of it, and having to do what he done and getting us into the last 16.
Jerry perfectly says when Hartley, Robson, and that. Like he says, Champions League 2 years in a row out the group stage.
Yep. And a good Scottish core. Again, it was yourself, Mike, that said that the last time you were on about Celtic having a strong Scottish core. That was probably the last team that had a right good, strong Scottish core.
The guy Wally just put in the chat. Sorry, Wally just put in the chat. Martin O'Neill, left back for Sunderland. I think it was Michael Gray we got.
Oh God, aye.
Remember the blonde-haired guy? I think it was him that was a left back we brought on last minute.
Aye.
I think I'm right with that. I've got a sad knowledge of football, 3 years ago, like I say, because that's what makes it. You didn't want to be negative in that, and that's what you live and breathe the game, Like everything's about football, it comes into that. So when you're passionate about something, like you're gonna get pissed off when this kind of thing's happening. You know what I mean? You get, like I say, it's the blind leading the blind just now.
Mm-hmm. I had there's where was it Martin saying that just below Brian we brought Rodgers in to oversee a massive revamp of this squad. Wood that needs moving on. We're 6 months into a 3-year project. We need to chill. So one of the boys in our bus chat had said this, that we weren't going to sign them to a note until we get 6 or 7 out. It was a fact we were Rodgers was wanting 6 or 7 out before he started bringing anybody in. But our squad's massive, and the wages that we're firing out the door for shite and for players that aren't getting near the team's frightening. But you're still, it's no good getting these players out the door if you're not going to bring in some quality signings or some decent signings to try and get us over the line with this league. The league's our bread and butter first and foremost, and it'll be easier to shift players in the summer than it will in the winter.
Jerry, do you think if just the transfer deadline closed, just say it closed in 10 minutes and we end up with nothing, do you think we'll still win the league?
I would like Mark's confidence, but they're going to win their games in hand, so we're going to put it down to them being 2 points. It's going to obviously come down to the games us v them, and if you're going after that Ross County performance, which we could put down as one of the games, a bad day at the office or whatever. However, we Taylor out at left back for God knows how long. Vickers injured yet again. Hattati, I don't know what's happening with him. Kyogo, one shoulder injury away from being out for a period of time as well. It's definitely not going to be played Celtic, and I'm not that confident if I'm honest.
And that's your reaction there is exactly the same as me when you needed to actually think about it. Whilst if the board actually signed and got quality players in the positions we needed, it was a stick on.
Yeah, no,
so that's exactly it.
I couldn't agree more, but I think I've been banging on about a left back, striker, goalkeeper, centre mid in the summer, and I was saying, look, I think if we'd replaced them or made they kind of signings in the summer, we would have done a lot better in the league, in the Champions League, and we'd have been a lot further ahead than we are in the league.
But, to answer your question, Jerry, about Hatate, it looks like he's 8 to 12 weeks out.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I just don't understand how he can come back for such a long injury and go away and play international football. It's criminal. I know it just doesn't just happen to us, but I've never agreed with it. Coming back for that length of time, then away to play international football, and coming back to his injured. But
that's and like saying, people say McGregor. Like for me, if everybody's on the top of their game and fit, Hatate's our best midfielder. I obviously it's kind of different positions, don't it? But I prefer Hatate over McGregor, O'Reilly, any of the rest of them. Like Hatate, when I see them, like that, and even like when the games that I can get to, he stands out an absolute mile with his movement and passing and that. Like he's like, but like I said, even about Carter Vickers earlier, you're only as good as the games you play.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're injured all the time, then no, I mean you're useless.
Well, Hatate's very good at getting on the ball and kind of driving us forward. He's no one for some of his passings astray, and he does lose the ball now and then. But I've noticed that a few times when he's not there, but he is with the difference when he's there and not there. He gets the ball and tries to drive us forward, and that's what we need sometimes. But it's ridiculous if him and Vickers can't get over these injuries, then they're not much use to us.
Yeah, so it just seems a bit, unless it's just unlucky that they sign like 4 or 5 year deals, and both of them are the most injured players in the squad.
Yep.
I mean, like I don't know if there was an underlying thing, because it looks like Carter Vickers, since he's came in, made of chocolate. Literally, he's all like you said. And then Hatate, to be fair, he's been injured a lot since signing for Celtic as well.
Yep.
So maybe that's like. Do you think if they two weren't as injury prone as what they were, they'd still be at Celtic?
Oh, Hatate's, I see Greg's been on about saying he's played too much football, but considered for where he's came from, was it college or uni, and then he's played a season or whatever it was, and then came to us. It will take his body a wee bit of time to adapt, because he's through the same kind of rigours and all the rest of it, but you'd have thought by now he'd have kind of made up to speed. Vickers, I don't know, is it just a calf injury again for him, or a knee?
Yeah, no, it's a calf injury. It's a bad tear on the calf.
I mean, how many calf injuries is he going to get?
Hatate turned 26 but at the turn of the year there, or just before Christmas or something like that. So you can't look on Hatate like a young player. I know what you're saying, but he's doing that. Aye.
But
because you do all that university stuff and all that there. But I mean, he's 26-year-old. He should be by that, and he's been at Celtic long enough to have the physical training in his body now to get by it. Aye. That's 2 seconds, you know, Jerry, mate. Nightmare, nice to see you again, mate. Thanks very much. John Fitzsimmons, cheers to see you again, mate. Nice to see you, Big Red Scotland. Thanks very much for coming in, mate. Love it. I don't know if I gave you a shout out, mate, but there's another one anyway. Love it. Thanks for joining us again, buddy.
I know, but I see what you're saying, and I agree with you, mate. But he's no went through the same kind of.
It's not even it. He's not. We don't even get S forums now, but he's not like a youth system. He playing football and that.
Aye. So
maybe that is part of it. He is maybe a bit injury prone because of that. He's not that kind of hard intensity training that for continuous amounts of years to take him up to the level that you're maybe used to again in a big physical league. But it's a worry when some of us, it's two so-called star players that it's happening to all the time.
Aye. It's I remember reading, I think, Ferguson years ago. It was going on about gigs, how he knew he would always get kind of 2 hamstrings injuries a season. They were always kind of towards the start of the season, towards the end of the season, they always kind of get a hamstring injury, and it was about how they managed them, run about that with games and training. But with Vickers,
And he went on to play. It was what 36, 37 gigs, didn't he?
I think 41. He was still playing it.
Well, that shagging kept him fit.
Well, maybe that's who I'm flipping bolt the way I'm then. But it's that would come down to our physios and all the rest of it. These data analysts and all that, they would know when it's time for or should. But with Vickers with a recurrent calf injury, there's a problem there, and I'm sure he's an operation on it. Is he not?
Was that where Carter Vickers had his operation? I thought that was his knee.
Was it his knee?
I thought that I don't know. Somebody in the chat might know that, but meant when he was out for the operation, was it? It was just after we played them in the cup semi, was it? No, last year they kind of said that was him for the season.
Aye, that's right. Aye, that's a bunch of played
them. What happens though, like you say, I didn't play at the highest level, but still played at a decent level. When you pick up a severe injury and you're working your way back, you're that worried about hurting it. You put strain on different parts of the body. Yeah? Like it says, and you end up just damaging something else. You know what I mean? It just builds on something else to something else to something else.
Remember the last time Rodgers was here? Will Mumpton moaned about the injuries we got, and they were going out playing the Lennoxtown pitch. Somebody they were getting all these soft tissue injuries, and they changed it. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, look at Kieran Tierney now. I don't know how old Tierney is now, but he's near enough. I mean, I'm not going to say the guy's finished in that because he's obviously, but for the amount of times he's injured in the season as well, like a lot of people blame the amount of games he played when he was younger, at the intensity he played it. The games and that.
No denying that.
His body.
Yep. But I remember when Rodgers was here, I think they played the pitch at Lennoxtown, or they thought they tried to change that because they weren't sure. There were a lot of players were getting hammies and soft tissue injuries. So is it the training or what? I don't know. But
then you look at clubs like Kilmarnock. Look at the pitch. They train on that idiot pitch that everybody moans. That's their training facilities, and they didn't even get half the injuries we do.
Aye.
So you know, like people can put down to bad luck, but like it says, maybe they're just injury-prone players. Like it says, and I personally think if Carter Vickers and Hatate were at the peak of their performance right now, and I think they'd be already away, sold. I think clubs would have came in and snapped them up if they were. Those injury prone.
Aye, fair dues.
So what kind of money would you look for if somebody came in for Carter Vickers? Obviously, nobody knew, but in the same this summer.
Again, 15 million or less.
I'd snap the horn off if somebody said we give £15 million for him.
I think it would be a lot of people in the chat would probably say more than that, but with his injury, I think if you got 15 or less, I think you would bite your hand off it. Hatate is, like he says, I would have put Hatate as the most expensive player we've ever sold last season.
Aye.
But based on
this season you're going to say Matt Riley, ain't you?
Yeah, you're only, like I said, you're only as good. Doesn't matter how many good seasons you've had previously. You're only as good as your last season and your last game.
Aye.
I agree with that. Aid in 10 to 12 million. That's what I would think. I would reckon.
Aye, so do I. I definitely think so. But we've got to remember people the abuse. I mean, I didn't agree the guy abuse. I quite liked the guy, but the abuse that Starfelt took.
I stuck up for Starfelt. People, because he wasn't cultures on the ball and blah blah. But as a partnership with Vickers, like he says, Vickers played as the sweeper behind Starfelt. And I think Carter Vickers. That's why I like the guy Narowski. Like I don't understand that he's never. Obviously, he's been injured and whatnot, but even when he's been back fit, like I don't know, Jerry. I think that you obviously like Scales and everything, and I'm not saying Scales is a bad player by any means. But I like if everybody was fit for me, I'd be playing Narowski and Carter Vickers together. Just for me personally. Yeah. Like you said, I can Scales did a ton. Scales is probably, to be fair, being better than Carter Vickers, especially in Europe.
Yep.
But there's something about that in the Narowski that I like.
Longer term, you're not going to have Scales in for defence. You know what I mean? It's him that's got to be. It's going to be him that's getting replaced. But what?
Kind of like a Ralston thing.
Replace him way better than Vickers. Replace Scales with somebody that's better than Vickers. No, he doesn't need to just be better than Liam Scales. Be better than Carter Vickers.
It's kind of put Scales in the same situation as Ralston. Ralston, like I say, going back to last season, everybody even looked at him. Then he ended up getting a few games and did well. I think Scales is kind of in the same situation. Like you say, they were wanting shot at him in the summer. Injuries, and he got back in the squad and he's did well. But I didn't see him as a long-term solution to centre back. Like again, the guys did well, but again, it's each to their own, is it?
Aye.
For me, Scales is what I kind of say all the time. He's good enough in Scotland, but for going forward in Europe, it's Scales that's probably going to be replaced. You know what I mean? But again, replace him with somebody better than Carter Vickers, so that you've got the better. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in just buying somebody better than Scales, because that, for me, that's a kind of gamble. These people are saying, "Oh, he's doing all right. He's doing all right now." But I mean, that's us into February. He's done all right all season, so there is a bit of a player in there for us. And I know Mikey, but who would you rather have in your squad, Mikey? Him or future Celtic captain Stephen Welsh?
Well, I don't know. You're just trying to get on my tits, so. Like I say again, and it's not like personal. Like I say, like again, that's what's football is. It's all about opinions. Like I say, if you didn't agree, it's all right. Like I say, I just never ever, even since Welsh first came on this league, I just never thought that he was ever going to. Like, I'm surprised he's ended up at Celtic as long as what he has. Like again, but again, it's each their own opinion, eh?
Yep.
Oh no, Welsh. I used to like him just because he was like a young player breaking through and that. But no, I mean, I totally agree with you, make him, and I just wind you up about it. But it's just weird that we've Narovsky, people in the chat, they're talking about Narovsky and that. I thought he's done well.
Narovsky, I just didn't understand, like, but since he came back, how he's not got more of a chance. Like, I think he's played twice. He's played against Rangers home and away, has he? Like, I think he played in the early game, did he? Earlier in the season, it was Narovsky.
Aye, he would have done. He would have done because Vickers was out for that, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, shock. You know what I mean?
Aye, Vickers, I think, was out, so I think he did play. See, last season's Vickers, I thought was brilliant. This season, he's not hit the same heights, and Scales has done better in the league and in Europe. But overall, if Vickers could go over this injury and get back to what he was last season, then he would be your first centre half, and then ideally you would have big Scales on the bench. He's not put a foot wrong yet, but as you said, I could see him being in the same kind of bracket as Ralston, one of the players who'll give you his absolute all, but it's no quite at the standard that we're hoping for.
We're lucky that we've had somebody like Scales that could actually come in and actually do it.
100%, because I couldn't believe at the start of the season, before the season started, if he had disappeared and you wouldn't really bat at an eyelid. It's the same as like, so I've had this conversation with other people. If Matt O'Reilly had left before the start of the season, there wouldn't have been a massive uproar. You'd have been gutted, but if he left now, you'd be totally distraught. So we'll wait and see what happens. Do you think Mikey Johnston will still be here clinging on coming into the transfer window?
He's away.
Is he? Brilliant.
Well, just doing a loan. I don't know if he's down to West Brom, but I don't even know. I don't know. Is there an option to buy on that deal? I'm not sure.
He's been down there since he got down there last night. They have got an option to buy him, but
is that where JFP is? Is he driving him down?
but he's away. Taylor's away back to Melbourne.
I see. Taylor's away back.
There's talk that even James Forrest might have been away today, which I don't think.
I heard something mental. I heard something mental this morning about James Forrest, and obviously wages would be. I think Celtic would need to pay about 99%. But I heard that Scott Brown was trying to get him to Ayr for the second half of the season for them to help them try and like whatever like he says. But
that's where his brother came from, wasn't it? When he went to his brother was there.
Alan Forrest, I think. Alan Forrest went from there to Hearts, was it?
He's Hearts,
Livingston, was it? I know he's at Hearts now, but I thought he was a stepping stone in between, or was it direct there?
Maybe he went to Livingston, was it? Livingston?
I thought that's what I thought. Maybe went to Livy. I might be wrong.
It'll be interesting. Like I say, James Forrest again. The wingers we brought in, he's probably one of them that, like you say, he's been a decent servant. Like I say, nothing special. But if there's a chance for him to move him on for 6 months, then it's probably worthwhile. So, like I say, at his stage of his career, surely you want to play games.
Aye, definitely.
So and even if Celtic needed to pay even 100% his wages, what's the difference, man? You know what I mean? He's been here since he was what, 6-7 year old. Right?
He's not going to be getting a game.
Aye, but he's not got. Aye, but even that's what I'm saying. But he's been there that long. So even if he did, if he's up for a move down to Ayr United, Celtic should. He's going to sit here and take the money anyway. So he knows well out there and enjoying playing football after the length of service he's gave us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just
I'll be surprised.
I
think Celtic will probably. I'll be very surprised if there's no one or two that maybe end up on loan at Ayr before the end of the window.
Aye, definitely. 100%.
Celtic have did that before, like you say, so like the old friends that like you can see that happening. Like
What division are they in, Mikey?
Just the same as you've done United Championship.
All right. I thought it was one lower down that. That's a decent move for even some of our youngsters and stuff like that. I'll tell you again. I'd rather some of our young players went to play for Ayr United in the Championship and playing this lower league shite in that.
Definitely.
That's why I was glad that guy, the Quan, like I said, I seen him for like 20 minutes in the game once and thought he was forever. But I'm so glad that you got a loan move to St Mirren, because at least you can actually see what you can do.
Mm-hmm. So you're not holding much hope for him then, Mike, you know?
I mean, let's face it, if anybody's seen him, I can't even remember what gang, it was obviously just a friendly or something I seen him in. But
aye.
Like
a bit raw.
I seen him the other day against them and he looked like he was alright. But again, I didn't see him coming back to I think that loan move is just a case of I think he'll be one of them that ends up back in Asia again.
Probably. I mean, just because you look good against them doesn't mean shit. Do you know what I mean? They're ranked rotten.
That's what I said. That, like I put in the Discord and that. And again, I'm not trying to annoy people and just always be doom and gloom, but we're generally lucky that it's the worst SPL in a long many a year. Like it says, everybody's just pish. We're just less pish than the rest. That's the way that I'm looking. It's not. But back in the day, it used to be, well, you need to be better. Like even like when Dundee United and that were decent and Aberdeen and Hearts and that when they'd Scatchell and that back in the day. Like a lot of corruption in that back then, but at least it was a laugh, like now it's just a case of we're just kind of be as pish as then. It's not about you being better than it's just being less pish.
Yeah, Bobby's right. It was the Bilbao game.
Was that no Forest testimonial?
Aye, it was, mate.
Yep. That was a scary day for me.
Evening, Rod Patel. Nice to see you again, mate. Thanks for joining us, bud. I remember.
Love it. Corona, but he thinks Scales has done really well for us, and he's a far better player than Ralston ever will be. I'm no saying that he's no love it. If it's what I said, I'm just saying he's not kind of same bracket as in he'll give you his all and no let you down, but he's no at the kind of level that we're kind of wanting to be at. He's good for a backup, but he's not somebody I'd want first choice either of the two of them. That's what I was kind of trying to get at.
I agree with that. I do. I mean, he's done well, and he has probably been my best centre back this season so far.
Yep.
Even that's down to injuries or whatever with Carter Vickers, but as I said earlier, long term, and if I want to make a mark in Europe, we're going to need better. We're going to need better than the likes of Scales. Do you know what? Nobody's disputing that fact. Greg Taylor, they're good enough at that kind of domestic level, but if we're going to kick on it and get to another level, which are we going to do? That is the big question.
Well, that's the thing. See the way this will get spun after this window's shut is obviously they're trying to move players on. However, it'll be we're holding out for our number one targets come the summer. It's the same shite you're going to get. It's when you come up to season ticket renewals, they feed you a lot of nonsense, and you think they're going to be spending big and doing this and doing that, Once they get the season ticket money in, sell the strips, same shite. Nothing happens. And I'm not I know Ter and all that. We're talking about spending maybe 10, 12 million on a player and all the rest. It's no the money side doesn't bother me on how much you spend on a player. It's the kind of the player itself, and it's the wages. It's not going to be the transfer fee. The player's not interested in the transfer fee. It's the clubs. The players more interested in the wages. And until I think we address that, I don't think we'll get the desired quality in the door.
I've been saying that for even long before we even started doing the podcast. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Probably bored the arse off of Mike even talking to him, like just me and him. I've no problem with the amount of money Celtic spend. It's the way they spend it.
Aye, yep.
I mean, there are many players there. With many Jack have said the days away. Tilio, Mikey Johnson, maybe Forrest could have been away.
For the start of the window or for the day?
No, but even the day.
Aye.
But how much money's been saved after the wage bill with just these players getting out on loan? You're talking about probably a 30, 40 grand a week wage to another player.
Mm-hmm. It's a scattergun effect. We sell a player for decent money and then we get 2 or 3 shite in. Somebody put it in the forum or the Discord the other night there. I mean, you say for Tulsa you're selling a player for 4 or 5 million and we're buying a couple or 2 or 3 in it, 1.5 million to replace that one player. And you think, once you sell that boy at 2 or 3 million, if you need to go and spend 5 on the next player to replace him, then so be it. But we seem to sign 2 or 3 shitey players for the money that we get in. And I seen Mark. I seen you having a go. I don't know if you're on a go at somebody with they came out with a comment. Obviously, it's going to be in profit at the end of this window.
Aye, but that's the thing. No, I wasn't having a go. That was my point we were making. I mean, we're scrimping and scraping getting a loan of a guy for Norwich that can't get a game with Norwich reserves, but we're getting £2 million for David Turnbull.
Aye,
it's crazy. I mean, we're selling a guy with 6 months in his contract for the kind of money we're spending on our own players to get on our new sign. Do you know what I mean? I mean, don't get drunk. That's a brilliant deal for Celtic if we're getting £2 million for Turnbull. But again, Turnbull is a squad player. You know what I mean? Even he come on off the bench and stuff like that, and he was never really a first team player for Celtic. And he got to the last 6 months of his contract and get £2 million from him. And I mean, let's be honest, we don't even need to spend money to replace Turnbull. We've got the likes of home and that there. Do you know what I mean? So that's just mere profit in the bank.
So we're coming out. I mean, we get $1 million at the Gucci at the start. We've got 2 million for Turnbull, and then we've spent the 3 on Kuhn.
That's embarrassing.
I thought that was a strange signing as well. Like you said, I've not seen a guy or that, and like you said, I knew, like that was one of I'd never even heard of him before. Like he'd set up who you signed him, but I mean, how many wingers are Celtic going to sign? Like it's mental like this. Like if any, like it says, great. We've got. I hope it turned out to be a belter a signing, but we're signing players in positions we didn't even need. You know what I mean? Like it's everybody in the chat just wants a left back.
I know. I must be busting people's chops about saying that. A left back and a striker. But it was.
It looks like I've got the striker in, didn't it?
Well,
3 million with a bought Shankland.
Exactly.
I've heard that he get tilted, and then see when I look back about it, it seems he was dropped for the team at the time in that with Hearts. I get told Heart tell him the other week, a couple of weeks back, that he wasn't leaving in this window. That he wasn't. He can go. They'll look at. They want him to sign a new contract, but if he wants to leave, it'll not be happening in January. And then when I looked up, he fell out. He wasn't in the team for a couple of weeks, and they blamed it on him. Illness. I don't know whether he's took a wee bit of the huff or something like that, but I don't think Shankland was going anywhere this summer unless it was something absolutely stupid, kind of crazy money. I wouldn't like Celtic to spend that on him, and we'll name across the road. They've not got that kind of money. Apart from
People are saying that
but in saying that, Big Jerry did fall for a fake tweet the day that he was away to Rangers.
You've just beat me to it. I was just about to say, Mikey, were you spitting feathers when you seen that? Because I knew I had seen it, and then one of the boys would put it in the chat saying it's a fake, and I thought I'll fire it in to see what happens. And I was hoping Mikey was going to bite, but I don't think he's no as daft as Hoffman. Big jabber would have bought it hook, line, and sinker. He'd have been on the phone to Welshie.
When me and Mark were speaking about it, I've seen that account before. You can see the spelling error in the guy's name.
Aye, no, I nearly did as well, but it was a spelling. I knew we were spelling it from previous getting caught out, but I thought, I wonder who's going to bite first. I don't even think Bobby bit, did he?
Bobby did, aye.
Oh, did he?
Aye, Bobby bit, but there was even there was hundreds of people on Twitter that bought it. I know, and I think he even ended up on one of the Rangers forums and stuff as well. But stuff like that, you always get that. It's easy to do that. It's easy to fall for the kind of things. You know what I mean?
People in the chat are putting that would be 6 million for Shankland. There's no chance.
No
chance. Like it says, if you offered 6 million for Shankland, Hearts would have sold him.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like you say, like they said that they wouldn't sell him. I think they could have got him for 3.5.
Aye.
If it's in the summer, then like you say, I wouldn't say that was a 6. There's no danger of 6 million for Shankland, and certainly for Miovski. No chance.
That would smash the Scottish record, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no chance.
Evening, John. Good night, mate. Thanks very much for coming in. Thanks you away, but don't be slashing your wrist, mate. It's not that bad. And don't be supporting Queen's Park either. That's even worse.
There's Greg put in, has anyone checked out Ida's knee history? Don't tell me there's a problem with him and all. It's back up a few, Mark. He said something about has anyone checked out Ida's knee history? Hopefully we don't need to worry about that because we've only got him for, 6 months? Well,
it's not even 6 months, isn't it? No, it's May. 4 months.
Aye. So well, that would be typical if we signed him if he's got a knee problem. But we'll wait and see. Healthy bank sheet aside, are we keeping the money to spend big on a decent goalkeeper in the summer? What use is the summer going to be?
I mean, I don't think we need a goalkeeper this window. I think we could have done it in the summer. We needed one last summer. Obviously for the Champions League stuff and that. But I don't think we need one now. But one of the things about January, as I keep saying with people, it's hard to get deals out of the line and that. Is this guy just a kind of stopgap? Is there somebody lined up and they can't get him to know the deal will be gone this summer and he'll be our new star man? Do you know what I mean? I'm just pulling strings
that's
here.
Somebody
do you know
with a glass half full.
Aye, try to look in a bit of kind of bright side. I mean,
Mr. Positivity tonight. We need it.
I always try to be a bit like that, Jerry. Do you know what I mean? But on the forum, people say I could stick up for Peter Lowe and stuff like that. I just try to look at things kind of realistically.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Because there's all. I mean, transfers. It's not just as easy as a lot of fans think. Do you know what I mean? Especially transfers that involve a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was reading one of the editors on the site. He stays there and he's still in Dubai, is in Thailand or something. He's earlier, right? But his folks are earlier. So I've been kind of covering doing the English sites and that. And the English fans are always kind of in the same boat as the Celtic fans. They want, why is this not happening? Why is this not happening? There's just a kind of complete lull in the transfer market this window. And I think a lot of games down to this kind of financial fair play stuff down in England. That like Everton that have been beat with. There's not that much money going about down there. And I see that English market, that affects the full transfer market.
Aye.
There's a lot of money flying about England, there's a lot of money flying about elsewhere as well. But if Rodgers is wanting ex-player, and if he is another club's top player, they're not wanting to sell him in January. Do you get what I mean? They're not wanting to sell one of their better players when they're maybe still chasing a league place or European places or whatever it is. So the January window is I'm never really a fan of it. It's that kind of narrow a window. It's that hard to get deals actually finalised in that short space of time. And if Celtic, if that isn't the plan, for me, right, I'm pissed off with this window, absolutely pissed off with it. But that, for me, the biggest window in Rodgers' time return to Celtic is going to be the summer.
Yep.
We know there's money there, right? And as I says, I still think we'll win the league. We should have made it a lot easier. Maybe in the next few years we will. I don't know, but that's for me. The next window is going to be the big one for Rodgers. And if Celtic don't do any major in this summer, I think it could be a long season next season for the Celtic board, because I think the fans are at breaking point with it.
Aye, I agree.
Mark, see the start of the season. Who was I in, like, literally, like, annoyed? I was getting borderline annoying people with who were wanting them to sign that they were eventually got a bid rejected for.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Linkovic, was it?
Dominic Livakovic.
Livakovic, aye.
So it looks like the transfer news today that he's going to Newcastle or Man United in the summer for approximately 45 million euros.
The total.
To Fenerbahce after the season he's had with them. Because Newcastle are wanting a goalkeeper because Nick Pope's always injured. And that's the kind of thing that Celtic are, like you say, dropped the ball and like the board are a joke, like that. Like you say, it was Simunovic. Like I say, he's one of my favourite Celtic players. Like, he was solid. Like, that's what he came out and said, that Livakovic was even wanting to move to Celtic at the time. They just couldn't get the deal done, and he ended up in Turkey. And now he's going for stupid. It was obvious, like, he's always like that a goalkeeper was going to go. He's 29, Livakovic, but it was clear right from the start that he was going to go for big money. That's what I mean. What they could have paid the 7 million that Fenerbahce did, and now he's going for 30, 40 million euros. Good bit of business that for Celtic.
But was that down to what was that down to? Was it down to his wages?
That was just the Fenerbahce outbid them in the end, was it?
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Here, I've just clicked on that boy's knee injury. Jesus Christ. His knees are chocolate, that boy. Idaho. His injury history, if this is true, he was out for 30 days in season 19-20 with knee injury. 2021, 87 days. 21-22, 195 days. 2023, he had knee surgery and he was out for 47 days. And then 2023 again, he was out for another 45 days with a knee injury. So if that's not play that transfer market thing, if that's reliable, his knees are chocolate.
It's pretty liable. I mean,
what's Nick and Paul's?
If it's to be believed, then
well, that is true. The injuries are true. Like you said, the transfer values are a bit iffy on that site, but the actual, like what they're saying regarding injuries, that is true.
Aye. There's Martin saying, "Oh, Newcastle don't have any money under." I just seen that under financial fair play.
Next season.
Aye.
That's why it's next season, like he says, and they'll sell players to generate the money. That's why they're trying to get rid of that Almer on. Like he was meant to be going to Saudi Arabia and back to the last minute. That's like they'll get like 20, 30 million for players like that and bring in players like Livakovic.
Uh-huh.
And that's why it's in the summer and no the day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I'm gonna leave you to finish off the pod. I've got him on dad duties there, so
no bother, Mikey. Thanks very much for coming, bud.
Cheers, mate. Mikey, all the best.
Enjoy it. I'll listen in, like he says, and I'm going to actually be sad and stay awake to the back 11 just in case.
No, you and me both, mate. You and me both. But
I'll catch you later and have a good rest of the show. All right.
Right, cheers, Mikey. Good night, bud. Thanks again,
yeah.
mate. Evening, Estepona boy. Thanks very much for coming in again, mate.
Aye. There's Ken Like 60 million in the card for Champions League this season. Surely we're going to prioritise this. The new format might be able to bring players in because of that. That's what I would have thought. I thought they'd have signed players hoping in the summer, hoping to win this. Sign the quality media then to guarantee this, and then kick on and sign even more quality in the summer coming. But who am I? I'm just one of the idiots that buy the season ticket and merchandise and watch the games like the rest of us. It's a sad state of affairs. But I don't.
It's a big gamble. You know what I mean? It's a big gamble that the Celtic board are taking. As I said earlier, I'm still confident we'll win the league. It should have been and could have been a lot easier for us. But I still do think that we will win it. But we need to move on for this, just trying to stay in front of them. We need to move on for that. Especially with this season. I mean, next season, I mean, people, it's like people on the forum come on and say, aye, Celtic are a Europa League level team. But to end up in Europa League, we need to lose the league. And we don't want that happening. Under all these new structures and stuff like that. So we've got to make sure that, but come this next season, as I said, I think we'll win the league. But come next season, we've got to make sure we're better equipped for this Champions League. And if we don't do it, it's no, as we said there, they're not just letting down the fans, they're letting down everybody like Brendan Rodgers the lot, because I don't believe for a minute that Brendan Rodgers has come in and signed up for this kind of palaver that we're going through.
No, definitely not.
People think, people would seem to think that it's a kind of, it's the Wills that are running all the stuff and all that. I'm more inclined to believe that the rumours I've heard about the split with him. Do you get what I mean?
Aye.
I'm more inclined to believe that there's people at Celtic that want to take Celtic on to the next level and become a kind of more modern club, the kind of club that we should be. They run things right, get a director of football in. It's ridiculous that Celtic's not got a director of football. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep. I mean, Desmond's no idiot. I mean, you don't become a billionaire for being silly and do all the deals that he's done for being stupid. So how it can let the same people stay
would you let any other business he owns be run like that? Can you imagine? I mean, look at what was it the money he made for that London airport deal and stuff like that?
That was frightening.
So can you imagine?
Stick in jail for that.
Can you imagine somebody? I mean, you turn around and say to somebody like Dermot Desmond, his business. If Dermot Desmond can say to some company he owns, look, get this done by such and such a date, because if you do that, we've got a £60 million bonus payment for it.
Yep.
But we'll need to spend this. As long as we need that £60 million bonus. Make sure we get that.
Yep.
There's no way that I can't understand why a guy with a business acumen of Dermot Desmond lets a company that owns be run so poorly, so blindly, and just so out of date with everything to keep up with you. Just even a modern business and the way a modern football clubs run. It's embarrassing the way the clubs actually run.
I totally agree, but we seem to be the only club about that switch people positions and laud it as a new appointment. I mean, I think there's some of the guys have been there for donkey's years, and they get switch positions and they make it as if it's a brand new appointment. It's just some of them have been there way too long, and I think they need a few young. Well, maybe that's the problem, that Law and that are the younger guys and they're wanting to modernise it. Maybe you're right, mate. But I think it needs a big shake-up.
These older guys that have been there for years and just we nodding dogs to like say Dermot Desmond, and I mean I'm not getting into the full Peter Law thing and that, right? But he's still the main man when he walks into a room. You get what I mean? Dermot Peter Law walks into a board meeting, right? He's there as a non-executive director.
Aye.
He still get that aura about him.
Aye, I've said that. It's the cloud still hangs over.
Aye.
I've said the same when we're talking about Man U with Ferguson. Although he's not there, he's still there every game and all the rest of it. Until you get, can I say to these people, thanks, you've had your time and goodbye. It won't change.
That's official. It's just done. Fabrizio just announced it. Cheers, Ty McDonald. Thanks. I think that's a new name. Thanks very much, Ty, for that, mate. Nice to see you in.
I hope it's the right account. There's somebody's asking about the second place if they qualify for the Champions League. I read something about this. Know that I do a lot of that, but see if the Monkeys finish second in this league, they can go straight into the Champions League. I don't know how this works. You might know better, Mark. They can go straight into the Champions League
I'm not-
depending on results in Holland and Portugal. But if we finish second, we need to go into the qualifiers. No idea how it works, but I
No,
read that, and I don't know how it would work.
I'm sure Buzz put something up in the forum about it, but to be honest, I'm not too sure about it.
It was something to do with Ajax.
It's one of these things that all these other things need to fall into place before it happens and stuff like that.
I only did one of the permutations. I think there's like a couple there. So one was guaranteed because Ajax kind of get into the Champions League places. So that was already a given. So I kind of remember it was either the Portuguese league or it was one of the other ones, one of the teams. But Rangers would go in. I think it was something to do with their points, their coefficient points. They would get straight into the Champions League if they finished second. If Sporting or whoever finished outside the Champions, I can't remember the teams. But Celtic, the way things are, would need to do because we're terrible in Europe, would need to go through the qualifiers. But Buzz would be a man for that.
I'm sure he did put something up in the forum about it a while back, but it was one of the. It was like when Main Rangers were meant to be going to playing that. Was it the Club World Cup or something they called it?
Aye,
I mean, there was just big money spinning event that Rangers were going to. Then people looked into it. It was a case of this needed to happen, that needed to happen, and this needed all for them to end up in it. So I don't think it's that realistic a proposition.
Aye, yep. Who's the alternative to Dermot Desmond? I wouldn't take an Arab, that's for sure. One of the. I just think they could get sick too soon.
Sell it to the fans.
Aye, I would rather always somebody with the club at heart, best interest at heart.
Sell it to the fans, right, and let the fans and like the shareholders decide who's actually running the club. Like what they like you have elections. You know what I mean? Like you do in Europe at big teams. And you let people pitch their kind of sale, and then you get voted on or off the board.
Definitely.
I mean, it's like people going about Celtic. This kind of we need to get a fan on the board and stuff like that. I wouldn't want stuff like that. I really wouldn't. I think see if you're getting some kind of fan on Twitter or whatever it is trying to get on the Celtic board, becomes a popularity contest, and they're just going to sit there and they'll tell you, oh, we'll do this and we'll do that. But then see when they get into the boardroom, you realise they're not allowed to talk about certain things. You realise they're not allowed to say this in public and stuff. So it's a weird thing. Good night, Brian. Thanks very much for coming in, mate. Nice to see you.
Mate. All the best, buddy.
I mean, as you said earlier, Dermot Desmond is basically only our majority shareholder, but because of him and the wee clique, it's always going to get whatever Dermot says. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? To get away from that, we would need to have a kind of major revolt with guys that are in his clique trying to get rid of him, which I don't see happening. For me, ideally, and I've said this before, and from what I've heard, his son Ross is more. I think he's more the side of maybe what I was saying earlier about Mark Lowe and Michael Nicholson. He's more want to try and kick the club on, try and make changes and bring things forward, but it's just as all guard that's just digging their heels in.
What age is Desmond now?
Oh, he must be about in his 70s.
70s?
He must be late 60s, early 70s easily.
Okay, it's time for him to get the slippers out, man.
73.
73. Christ, he looks better Nick than me. He's 73.
So would you if you billions in the bank, but wouldn't you?
That's true, aye. It's true. It's here's hoping. I keep hearing about this, but
Snoop Dogg and Coolio. Coolio's dead, Ken. Coolio's dead, mate. You'll see you when you're there. Get Rod Stewart like he's on his pocket for like free tickets at Tamp.
Aye. Get him to start paying.
Rod Stewart and guys like that.
Aye. Rod Stewart. He's a hound.
But see, I mean, I know it's crazy, but I mean, look at the guy out of Deadpool and him to Philadelphia. Always sunny in Philadelphia about Wrexham. Robbie Williams is buying Port Vale. Why do all these big sales? No, but why do you know? Why do they not buy the club but get people in to run it? If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that is he's one that's a family dynasty. Desmond, he's never going to let the reins go at all. The only time he'll let the reins go is when he's popped his clogs.
James McCarthy is Rod Stewart's barber. James McCarthy getting Harry Kewell's job.
He'll need to start doing something for the wages he's taking. I see
that. I sent that to Paul and Terence earlier on that James McCarthy's replacing Harry Kewell on his coaching squad.
Aye, that's it. Who was it? I would personally love the Arabs or City group. All right, no chance, Bobby. No chance. No chance.
I wouldn't sit right with me.
No, definitely no. End up a feeder club to them. Who are you kidding? That would be my idea of hell. It'd be great for the money for a wee bit, but no, I wouldn't. I would have sleepless nights if the Arabs or the City group for that take us over. No chance.
Even I don't know why as well. But, I mean, it's like see them that were involved in Man United.
Aye.
I mean, the horse racing folk, like the Colmore Mafia, whatever they called them. Why no approach they guys?
What for the Man U ones?
Aye. Didn't they offer the kind of the horse and stuff like that?
Aye, McManus.
Why you guys like that never come in and say to just even saying to Dermot Desmond, look, we'll put money into this.
I thought he had some minority share, that boy.
Aye, but that's just a kind of minority shareholding kind of.
Aye.
I think it's maybe it's like you turning around and saying your laddie, I've got 100 shares in Celtic, but he's got like 200,000 because that's the amount of money he's got, stuff like that.
Aye.
If Peter Boyle saying send Elon Musk to Celtic, talk and see if he'll buy in. Years and years ago on Twitter, I asked him to do that.
He's a weird
aye.
He's what a weird, strange cat, man. Imagine him tripping about Sucky Hall Street with Celtic tap on. No chance. It's not for me. There's Greg saying that fan ownership equals disaster. It seems to get on all right abroad, does it not?
Aye, Germany and that.
Aye,
but that's the thing. Fan ownership. It worked when it was under Fergus.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing about it. See, really, if everybody that owns shares on Celtic voted against Dermot Desmond, he wouldn't have a leg to stand on. But he's got his own wee clique that will just back him. Whatever he says, that's what happens.
Aye.
You know what I mean? That's how all these stuff like the AGM and that's just a waste of time. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And that's one of the things the Celtic Trust doing. It's like trying to bring that kind of bit of getting fans together to try and get them a bit of a voice more at Celtic.
Aye.
But as I said, see if there was a kind of movement for that, these kind of become. I'm not want to even mention guys' names, but you'll know who kind of people I'm talking about. It would all become about them. It become about them.
Aye.
I mean, I couldn't walk into a Celtic boardroom and hold my own, be talking with businessmen and that. Do you know what I mean? I'd end up handing Peter Lawwell with a chair shot out the WWE. Do you know what I mean? So you need you need people. If it's gone that to get some kind of fan voice, it would need to be something that you would ordain. So that cuts off 90% of the Celtic support, and then you've got the rest of them, and then you've got all these attention-seeking bloggers and all the cliquey stuff. I mean, Peter Lawwell. Did you read that CQN thing I sent you the other day?
Aye.
And they're talking about how. And that's Peter Lawwell's lapdog at CQN, and he's talking about how all the summer transfers were all signed off with Rodgers. The blueprint was done with a manager that left the building, but Rodgers picked all the players for a list, and he's had full control of the transfer since. And nobody in their right mind sitting reading that is believing that.
Aye, no, I know. No, I agree. I see Martin has said Desmond isn't selling, his son loves Celtic as well, so it's pointless chat. We know that, mate. He's no selling, and he won't sell either. But as much as his son loves Celtic, he's not got an input. Desmond's the main man pulling the strings, and isn't going to be looking to let go anytime soon. That's the problem. I know he's the main man, but doesn't mean that he's always right. And I think the way that we've been running now is a bit shite on the park, not off the park, on the park. And I don't think we have enough footballing people in the footballing positions for us to be progressive in the way that we want. This is the point we're trying to make.
I mean, we brought in Don Mackay to replace Lil as CEO. And how long did that last? 5 months?
It was a strange one, wasn't it?
Aye. Some people, right, and I know there's talk, I think there maybe was things that there was kind of low to maybe been conned a wee bit with agents and his pants pulled down a wee bit with agents with release clauses and stuff like that for players.
Aye.
But I've also heard the kind of other side of the coin that it kind of looked under the bonnet and he was like, I can't even work under these kind of constraints.
Yep. Aye.
And then again, what we're talking about, it was just all right, he's away. I mean, there was all talk because it was the kind of Celtic tried to spin it kind of personal problems. There was even people,
Aye.
I mean, we were speculating that even maybe his wife had cancer and everything on Twitter, do you know what I mean? Which isn't a nice thing for anybody to really do, but that was the kind of way he was produced. It was his personal problems. A couple of months later, he's back running the rugby again, and Michael Nicholson CEO. And to this day, I still don't know if I've heard that guy talk.
No. I've barely seen him.
Again, you don't want to hear us see your CEO in the paper all the time with renter quotes and stuff like that. But the guy's he's like an invisible man. He's sat there and watched for years the way Peter Lille treated the club as CEO. He still kind of took that on board and I don't mean being interfering with stuff, but just realised, well, I'm a CEO. What I say actually has got a lot of clout in this boardroom or in the club, but the guy he just seems for me like he's more like a kind of accountant kind of guy. He can do all the legal side and tick the accounts off and do all this stuff, but actually comes to having a pair of balls about him. I don't think he's got it.
I was happy enough at the AGM cracking jokes about the monkeys, was he no?
Aye.
But the monkeys are the one that will be laughing at us, thinking, aye, you used to be miles a front if you want it, but look at you, he's only prepared to spend a penny and your recruitment's shite. Not that theirs is any good, but as Mikey said, we're just fortunate that they're done.
And that's another reason why I think we win the league. They're garbage.
Aye, they're poor.
I don't watch much of them. It's like I stick it on like a scheme on the laptop if they're playing and flick back and forward, watching wee bits of it. But even playing against Celtic, they're garbage, and that is one of the reasons that I think we will still win the league.
Aye. Yep.
Because there's no way that clown was just Baldermore's not doing a kind of Ange type of job, no chance. Grinding out results against teams. He lost the plot. That was a serious heavy meltdown after the Celtic Rangers game.
Aye, okay, you're cracker.
Aye.
Good enough for them. Do you think we'll get rid of
Haksabanovic is oh God. That was another guy I wanted to do well and it just didn't work out.
Aye. Well, he was good coming on as a sub man. He wasn't the greatest when he started a game. But he always came on and he looked the part. But he couldn't do it when he started a game. Do you think McCarthy will still be here at the end of the window?
Well, it's looking like it, isn't it? I mean, see the talk. He wouldn't go to Greece. Well, Celtic turned it down because the Greek mob wouldn't spend enough money in the wages. Do you honestly think that McCarthy's got to go and play in Greece at this stage of his career? When his family settled in Glasgow and stuff, the place that him and his family's always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, his wife's back up the road with her family about and stuff like that. From what I hear, so there was no way he was going to go to Greece and play football, even if it was going to be a 5-month loan.
Mm-hmm. Aye, no, it's. I didn't think he'd be going away to Greece, but it may have been a nice wee holiday for him, getting his all the wages paid for him. Get away out there.
But he's a ginger man. Imagine the sunburn.
True enough. There's CG in evenings.
What's that one? There can't be many Celtic billionaires out there, so maybe Arab American consortium. Maybe. Oh, but as I said,
You don't need
put
a ball
Rod
there.
Stewart. But that's the thing. We don't need a billionaire to be with majority shareholder because we don't need money off them. All we need somebody to put money into it to make a change at the boardroom level. I mean, we don't rely on Dermot Desmond for a penny, and that's the way it should be.
Aye.
That's a sign that is a sign that the club's been run right. We don't really look for Dermot Desmond for loans. We don't look for money to get by at the end of the season, stuff like that.
Financial fair play will not allow us to anyway. Now, get money off a billionaire regardless. He could be the richest guy in the world.
But there's still, well, it's been done every year, but there's always been limits. I'm sure the last time we looked into this, I'm sure it was 50 million or 3 seasons or something like that they were allowed to put in.
Aye, but look, I think that was it.
But Celtic didn't need £50 million off of Dermot Desmond or the shareholders because we always had money to do what we done. Whether we done it or no, that's a different matter, but we still always had the money to do what we needed to do, apart from that loan that we got to fund Mark O'Neill.
Mm-hmm. Which only get paid off. When was that? No, that was
just last year, aye.
Last year, aye. Like I seen somebody saying, "Oh, we used to spend £6 million a player at the turn of the century." But I don't know. Terry must be sick of saying it. That's £6 million then, isn't it? £6 million now. Unfortunately, you wouldn't get Sutton, Lennon, Hartson for £6 million a day. That's for sure. And if they were back playing,
back to times back in the day, and that right. I'm sure when Dennis Bergkamp signed for Arsenal.
Aye.
One of the happiest guys in Arsenal was Ian Wright, because I'm sure he was the captain at the time, and that got him a pay rise.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like Roy Keane, I can mind old teletext. I think I've said this before. Old teletext thing. Look me up. Roy Keane is signing a new contract for Man United on 50 grand a week. And I've got 50 grand a week. That's unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. Not. And then you look at the money players are getting. You know, that's what middle of the road players are getting 50 grand a week.
I know. It's frightening. CJ, there's evening boys taking his mugs by the board again this window. Why can they remain untouchable for how they can handle things? It's not a business for greed. It's a club for the fans. Good point.
That is the point.
Good point.
But that is the thing, that they're untouchable. They're nothing. I mean, it's like, see if we win the league come the summer, right? If we win the league, it's not as if there's going to be any protests against the board or anything. People, I've said it before, this is what, 13 years, 14 years, nearly I've been running the forum, a couple of years I've been doing the podcast and stuff like that. I've said it before, every single year the same. I know what's going to happen with Celtic fans. We win the league and everything's brilliant. Transfer window in the summer, we're all panicking. This is good enough, or he's shite, or why are you buying him? Panicking. We go off to either a good start or a bad start in the league. We go to a bad start under Ranch, it was a panic. But then we started winning. Everything's hunky-dory. Gets to January, we're panicking. Windy shots, everything's, what we got to do? Rangers are nearly catching us, blah, blah, blah. We win the league. And then everything's hunky-dory again. Nobody bothers. If we win the league, see all these people going on about, we need to get rid of Desmond Dermot, we need to get rid of the Lulls and all that. See if we win the league, 90% of them come the summer will be coming on and saying the same things. I've been saying the same things about this for years, Jerry. We need to upgrade the board. We need to get a director of foot. We need to get a director. How many years have you knew me, Jerry? I've said we need to get a director of football.
I know the forum and that. I know that for. And I thought that Maresca was originally going to be coming in as that the years ago. I thought when Ange was coming in, we were going to have a director of football as well.
The Irish guy.
Aye.
Right, aye.
But do you honestly feel, Mark? I feel now that the level the tide's turning against it. But I don't know if it's just me, but I feel there's more people against this board than now, and there's a bit of a tide turning. Or do you feel it's rinse and repeats the same as every January window?
Well, I mean, it's just looking like every other January window.
Aye.
That's him, Bobby Fergal Harton. That's the guy.
Figo,
Aye.
that was it. Figo
But
Harton.
as I said, I would like to think that even if we do win the league over the summer, Celtic fans will look back on this past year and think how messed up we have made it and the things that are on the right. And right, I'm not a great one for booing the team, right? But see, before the game, why no protests outside the ground before the game against the board? After the game, right? Do you know what I mean? See, suppose the Celtic wins 6, 7, 8, 25, nothing. Doesn't matter. If fans feel that strongly about it, have them outside the front protesting and make kind of get a movement going, get the Celtic Trust involved in it and people like that to make it a bit more popular, get more people involved in it, and just back to the same thing, back the team but sack the board.
I just feel
try and keep it outside the while before the game even had up banners or that, but while the game's going on, back the team on the park.
Yep. I know that you've said that previously that when we win the league and all that, it papers over the cracks, and you hear the same stuff all the time. Then we win the league or whatever, and it all gets forgot about to the following season when there's a problem again, and it rises its head. I just feel the more people you talk to, the more people are sick to the death of the same shite and getting treated the same way for this board, especially the way they were after that AGM and the money that's sitting there in the bank, but yet they're no giving us a legitimate reason how they're no want to go out and push the boat out and sign a few half-decent players to kick his own. It doesn't make sense to me.
If we win the league this year, right, or a big party down George Square, do you know what I mean? All the usual shit that you need to watch, and everyone's hunky-dory singing the Rebel songs down George Square and stuff like that. If you actually say, well, what's your plans for next season? You're just moaning. Do you know what I mean? We're in the Champions League. We'll get £60 million coming. Right, so we're just going to get in there and get pumped for 8 games rather than 6. But we're getting £60 million for it.
Aye. Suck it up and take it.
Aye. I mean, even going back to the times in that we played in Champions League qualifiers, I'm talking about we're having street parties in Glasgow 2 months before we're getting pumped to the European Championship, Champions League qualifiers, and nobody bats an eyelid about it. Well, it's just where we are. We've not got the money to compete. Copenhagen have got the money to do well. Other teams that have got the same budget as us, they seem to do well on it.
Aye.
It's a lack of any kind of forward vision or forward thinking or planning on actually improving us to a level that's going to take us to that kind of next level in Europe before we become another wee diddy team. Because we can't just hold on to stuff we've done in the past forever and ever. Do you know what I mean? Eventually other people in other countries are kind of getting bored of you and they're laughing at you because all you're doing is getting beaten, stuff like that.
Yep. It's the European results. It's that's where we should be gauging ourselves, and we've been deplorable in Europe. I don't care what MD mean for the last however many years we've been ridden rotten. It's embarrassing. But go back to your point. Gone are the days you needed to win the league to get a carry out a party and have the rebel tunes on. Sad state of affairs now. That's what we're waiting on now.
Aye.
Must have grown up.
No, but you're entitled to go out and celebrate winning the league. But when you sober up, you've got to still look at the bigger picture and say, well, is that Celtic's ambition just to win the league? Is that all we've got? Look at the man came up. Their European final. I mean, how the hell did they end up a European final and Celtic can't even get out the group stages of Champions League?
It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. There's no positive spin way you can spin it at all. To think for where they've came to where they're at, reincarnation or whatever you want to call it, rising for the dead to get to a European final, and we're getting pumped year in year out. But we had plenty of time where we could have sacrificed games in the league to make a go of it in Europe, but we didn't want to do that. We did not want to do it.
I mean, they got to a European final the other year, right? and then they became the worst ever team in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
In the space of, was it a year or even 2? I don't even know, but it just shows you. It's like, see, right, we're sitting there with £70 million in the bank and stuff like that. See if Rangers had that kind of money, they wouldn't have £70 million in the bank. They'd owe the bank £2 million. They'd have spent £72 million.
Yep, definitely.
And I'm not want Celtic to go out and splash crazy money on stupid stuff, but we've got the money to go out there and to improve the team. To pay a couple of players that a wee bit extra money to bring in quality that we need to take us this kind of the next level in Europe. Because we can't get into this Champions League next year and just be happy. Oh, right, sorry, we've got 8 games instead of 6. We've got European football after Christmas because only because the league's been reconstructed. But we're going to get in there, we'll be happy with 24 points. We're going to be happy with 1 or 2, 3 points.
No. But then I don't know. It's there's no positive way to spin this. It's just this transfer window's been appalling. But if we're getting the deadwood out the door, try and make a go at in the summer, it's a massive gamble to be taken, mate.
No, I still think we'll win the league.
Aye, I hope you're right.
I'm confident.
I like your confidence.
It should have been easier and it could have been easier, but I still do think we'll win it. But for me, this upcoming transfer window, this new Champions League format and stuff like that, for me, this is a kind of crossroad for Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that a lot of the supporters, I mean, I'm the big voice. I'm not saying I'm the voice of Celtic support. That's just my opinions I saved, lads. But I would like to think that even if we do win the league, that come the summer, there's a lot of fans that are actually thinking, hey, what direction's this club going in? What direction's our club going in? Because we can't just keep being, I say it's a bit of a crude analogy, but we're just like a daft old hooker down the Gallagate when we get to the Champions League. Do what you want to, you know what I mean? Pump us, it doesn't matter, just as long as we're getting money for it.
Aye.
And Celtic's too good to be that type of club. It really is. And we need to get people with a more modern vision of what a modern club needs to be run like. Because it's old men that don't. I don't even think half that board actually understand what kind of level of responsibility they have.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, mate. I totally agree. What Lovett made a point there. How can Rodgers possibly face the press knowing that the board have made a complete fool of him? Once again, crazy. What do you think of that?
But if they have made a fool of him, then he's played his own part in that by coming out with what he said. I mean, he's come out and said that he's in control of transfers. So, is he lying? Is that the board that's making him lie?
No, I don't think he's the type that would toe the line. I don't think he's the type that would toe the line.
That's the thing. It's the same. I mean, he's come out himself and said that. But again, he's contradicted himself. Mate, he came out with, I deal with the club Jesus. I trained him, who the club gives us and stuff like that. But then he came out to the AGM, he's in charge here. He said the same thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's no, for the outside looking in, there's no kind of, what would you call it, a chain of command that we can recognise.
Yep. There's Plunge McNuggets want to know, Mark, you'll know a lot better than me. Is there still hookers down the Gallagate?
Oh, aye.
There you go, Plunge.
Aye. Give a wee message after it, Plunge, and I'll give you a couple of phone numbers. Maybe I know a couple of flats. I know a couple of flats down that neck of the woods at Party as well. So, aye, definitely.
Aye. Big Jabber will see you. He's all right.
Aye, Big Jabber's the madam. He's the madam. He's running them. He's mini skirting that one.
The best pair of tits you'll ever see. Right, mate, I don't think we're going to be signing anybody, do you?
It's looking poor, man, isn't it? They're just... There's not even any rumours or nothing.
You can take that yellow tie off, mate. There's no need to have it on. We're getting nothing. You would have heard something by now if we were getting Andy. At least the Huns Jeff Day deals fell through. AR's saying
At least what?
That left back, remember the boy, the Brazilian left back they were going to sign for Greece?
Oh,
Jeff there, whatever it was.
that's another. You can't even believe a word that they print about who they're signing either, isn't it?
No, nah.
I
Definitely
thought there'd have been a left back even been hinted about by now.
Aye, me too. I thought it was a certainty when Taylor get injured because Bernaby's not going to cut the mustard, unfortunately. What about Izagiri? What's he doing?
I don't know, man.
Aye.
Adam Ida.
Ida. Can he play left back?
No, the Norwich boy, you fool.
The Norwich boy? Who's he? Aye. We'll need to see if he can play left back too.
Aye, maybe. Probably try him there. He'll get Brendan.
Brendan, aye. He can play out to left back. So we'll just need to wait and see. Stephen Maher these days. Oh.
Where's the farting dog these days? That's Paul's dog, Bobby, 1962. That's Paul's dog that does the farting.
Where is Paul? Is he coming back? Where is he? Is anybody heard from him?
He's to go and get another operation in his knee.
Poor guy.
He's going in next Friday for it. Something's not quite worked the way they want it. They want to kind of tidy it up a bit and that.
Aye.
And I don't think he mind me saying his missus isn't keeping too well either. You know what I mean? She's waiting to get into hospital as well.
That's not good. Poor Paul. Hope he's back soon. See, that's saying about the injuries. That's my biggest fear. Where's no bringing MD in. See if Kyogo gets injured or that. I think we're in shit street.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Kyogo, right, we're up at Aberdeen Saturday. Kyogo goes down injured with his shoulder. But we've got Owen, this boy from Norwich.
Yep.
That's nowhere near good enough.
No, definitely
I mean,
not.
I like O. I've said it for the start. I do think that maybe O could be more a kind of Brendan Rodgers type of signing. Because he's kind of big and strong kind of thing, but I would like to see him get a bit of run the team to see how good he could actually be, but I still don't want that to get that run out of Kyogo getting injured.
Hatati gets injured going for a shite these days. But who's this? The Peterborough left back could be a goer. Who's he?
Somebody messaged about him earlier on.
Never heard, no idea.
Meadows or something like that is his name. I see that Van Veen, he went to Kilmarnock, was it? Meantime it was at Motherwell. You there, Jerry?
Before, was at Motherwell before, was he no?
Aye. But I think he's away to Kilmarnock.
That'd be no bad signing for them.
For me, that would have been a no bad signing for us. As a third choice striker.
Over that
Harrison Burrows, that's the name, aye. The Peterborough guy. Get to young frame for a couple of games.
Aye. I'll wait and see. Right, mate.
Aye, that's us, man. 25 to 9.
No bother.
Nothing much happening. Take this yellow tie. I'm just sitting here with nothing on apart from a yellow tie.
What I thought.
Falling naked, just a yellow tie.
I thought you would have been quiet to get a peanut butter out and all.
Yeah, no, you just sitting staring at me, getting the evil eye. What's going on here, Daddy?
Right, guys, thanks for having us. It's been emotional. Take care, everybody, and hail. All the best.
Thanks very much for coming on, Jerry, bud. As always, thanks very much to Mikey as well. Everybody in the live chat, hope you enjoyed it again tonight. Everybody that listens back. Hopefully we'll wake up a few hours and there's been a few signings, but if I was you, I'd just go to my bed lately. Remember to hit the like button. If you know how, please leave a comment because it helps us get up the algorithm and stuff like that. And just to everybody remember as well, we've got a link to our Discord group, our forum, www.celticrumours.co.uk. It's on the description box below. Everybody's more than welcome to come and get fired in there, join in the crack and that. Hail, hail, lads, good night and God bless.